All right, you guys. Hello. Thank you for bearing with me timing wise tonight. I just realized the lighting in here is really not that great. Um, I am just getting organized, getting my video so I can see my notes and also see you guys. If you're here, comment below and let me know that you're watching. I have my 3.5-month-old with me, and my toddler is actually upstairs. She is going through some stuff with sleep, so she's not quite sleeping yet. And I will say, like, I know a lot about sleep. Infant sleep and kid sleep is like an ever-changing thing in this house. So tonight I'm going to be focusing on adult sleep, on the sleep hacks that have worked really, really amazing in my life. I am like a self-professed sleep nerd in a lot of ways. And whenever I would like hint at the things that I do that are a part of my sleep rhythm, I would get a ton of questions. And then I didn't want to dive too far into explaining sort of the hacks that I've implemented without doing it sort of comprehensively. So that's the background behind like how this class came to be. So I am so jazzed to just get to talk about literally the stuff that I love. I love biohacks. I love optimizing wellness. And in particular, sleep is so important to me, but everyone. It's so foundational to all of our wellness. If we aren't sleeping well, our body doesn't have the chance to repair and heal itself. It doesn't have the chance to complete routine maintenance, and really we are just not functioning optimally when our sleep is compromised in any which way. And we'll talk about a few of the different, well, the many ways that our sleep can be impacted, and just some approaches to really looking at your sleep and getting to the place where you have a sleep hygiene routine that when you follow, you wake up the next morning and you notice an impact. You are better rested. You wake up ready to sort of attack the day. We all have probably experienced both sides of that. You've had the sleep before where you wake up and you feel like you didn't sleep at all. You're dragging your butt all day. And then on the other side, when you have that fully rejuvenating sleep, how amazing you feel and how it impacts your outlook and your ability to show up for the things that are important to you in your life. I am getting the biggest smiles from Miss Goldie here. She's like, Mama, you're talking. So yeah, I'm just jazzed to talk about this. I've listened to countless podcasts and audiobooks, and just in my years of not only like working as a nurse, but just being really driven and motivated by my own wellness, I've just picked up so many things along the way. And so, like I said, I'm excited to share those with you. So let's get into it. Important to note that I think that like not sleeping well is a bit of an epidemic anyways, but when you add in uncertain times, aka the global situation, a lot of people's sleep has been less than ideal. And there's so many reasons for that, which, like, again, all of these micro topics that I bring up tonight could be spent, I could spend an hour on each of them. But when you think of like your life situation, you know how much that impacts your ability to wind down and your ability to sleep. And I think one of the most profound elements to sleep is that you can't force sleep. You can't will yourself to sleep. You can't will yourself to sleep. Sleep requires a gentle letting go. It requires a relaxation, both body and mind. And that can be really challenging when we are so tightly wound up from what's going on in the world. So really, really important to know that, like, if your sleep is compromised at present, that could be because of many factors, including the more stressful situation that so many of us are, well, that all of us collectively are experiencing in the world. So I want to give you some just like really quick tips to impact your sleep like right off the hop, and then I'll dive deeper into a few of the hacks that I'm like really obsessed with. So firstly, limiting your media consumption. I know this is probably something we are all trying to improve on, but it's one of the things that comes up repeatedly in literature, in studies, in basically like any help article on how to sleep better. An awareness around your media and social media intake is really, really important. And anyways, like I said, I could go so far into that topic, but I'll leave that for a second. Taking care of your physical body can impact your ability to sleep well. Whether or not you have been able to connect with others can impact your emotional state, so therefore your ability to fall into sleep. It's super important, obviously, that you keep your bed as predominantly your sleep area. So there's only a couple things that should happen in your bed, and sleep being the main one. Like the focus there needs to be on your room being a sleep-inducing environment. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And I know for some people that has become challenging because of how much time we're spending in our homes. So if you're in a smaller environment, sometimes there's some like the office gets pushed into the bedroom, or your workouts are happening in there, and so that can complicate factors as well. Keeping a regular wake and sleep time is super, super important as well. The research shows the more consistent you can be with your wake time and your sleep time. I know this is the one most people struggle with the most, because it's not fun to be told that you can never sleep in. But when you think of the impact that changing your wake and sleep times has on your sleep from a macro view, it's often not worth it. Being really mindful of your wake and sleep times. Of course, an even temperature, not too hot, not too cold in your room, is super conducive to sleep. And that will vary a little bit from person to person, I find, what's comfortable for you. But we do know that the body temperature dips a little bit when we are sleeping. And so keeping your room a little bit cooler can facilitate that temperature change. Which I know we had such a hot summer here, where we have a air conditioner. So that was a good thing on like in our situation. But even with that running, I remember there were some nights that it was totally impacting our sleep, how hot it was in our house. And then the other thing is humidity is really, really important for good quality sleep. If you've ever woken up and your mouth feels dry, or you're reaching for your water right away because you're feeling so thirsty, that's another sort of modifier that's important to look at, is the humidity in your environment. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I've got my diffuser running right beside me. That's a great way to add some humidity to your space. So let's talk a little bit about some of the hacks that I'm super passionate about that have been impactful for my sleep. All of these micro topics, you can also do a deeper dive into yourself. Of course, I am not a prescriber, so I'm not telling you what to do. I just want to share helpful information tonight, and encourage you to look into what resonates and what you think you could implement consistently. That's going to be really, really important, is that you are following through and using whatever you decide for your sleep hygiene rhythm that you can do day after day, including like if you were to be traveling, you want stuff that's easy to implement when you are out of town as well. So we know that sleep is connected to our breath. Of course, when we are in deep sleep, well, obviously we're breathing all night, and so that connection is really, really important to look at. So a lot of people, and maybe we'll throw this in the comments. If you consider yourself a mouth breather or a nasal breather, just let me know in the comments, like which one would you say you fall under? I'm just curious, because some people identify right away, oh yeah, I always breathe through my nose, and some people are the opposite. They say, no, I mostly breathe through my mouth. Just let me know what you guys would categorize yourself as. Mouth, yeah. Nasal, yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about this a little bit. So mouth breathing is pretty common, but it's linked to some stuff that we want to be kind of aware of. I also identify as predominantly a mouth breather. I have like smaller nasal passages, and so I really have to be mindful to breathe through my nose in the day, which leads me into what I do at night. But let's talk a little bit about the impact of mouth breathing. They've shown that nasal breathing has been linked to reduce inflammation, improve sleep, improve memory, and increase your immune system function. So what I'm trying to say is we are meant to breathe predominantly through our noses. When we start to move into mouth breathing, it's usually because we aren't getting enough oxygen in. And so our body is compensating by using our mouth. So there might be like something going on, like I said, smaller nasal passages. You might be feeling congested. It might be habitual, right? Where you're just used to breathing through your mouth. There's many, many reasons why people go to mouth breathing versus nasal breathing. But it's really, really important that when we're looking at sleep hygiene, we are aware that breathing through the nose is what allows you to wake up feeling more rested, without a dry mouth, without a sore throat, which of course nobody wants any of those things right now or ever. And it also is really important to note that when you breathe through your mouth, the microbiome in your mouth is meant to be maintained with the mouth mostly closed when you're breathing through your nose. So when you are breathing through your mouth, it actually can lead to tooth decay, so cavities, dental issues, and a whole whack of other things, including snoring, which if snoring is like a really important piece of sleep hygiene or of your sleep quality, because if you're snoring or your partner's snoring, it impacts your sleep in two different ways. Either it's waking you up, or your depth of sleep is not going to be as high quality because you are snoring, meaning you're likely doing some mouth breathing. So here is the other thing that's really interesting, and again, you can do a deep dive if this topic interests you, like there is so much out there. But what's really interesting is there has been a sharp increase in like orthodontic needs. So kids needing braces, even adults needing braces and adjustments like that. The increase in that need has been like astronomical, and they've linked it to mouth breathing and how common that has become societally. And the reason for that is when you are breathing through your nose, your tongue actually rests on the roof of your mouth, your hard palate. And what that does is it allows your teeth to, like when you're a kid and your teeth, your jaw is forming essentially. It allows space for your teeth and for things to come in with enough space without crowding. And also it's linked to a really nicely defined jaw. So again, go on YouTube. This stuff is really, really interesting, how it's impacted us. And these orthodontic issues that we're seeing, like in most people I know have had some sort of dental device, like whether it's braces, Invisalign, whatever, is linked to mouth breathing specifically. And the narrowing of the airway can actually occur because there's not enough space created by the tongue. And so yeah, that's just a little kind of tangent to the side there. So let's talk about what I do to promote nasal breathing for myself. It's super simple. When I tell people about it, they go like, well, what is that? Or how does that work? I use a piece of tape. So if you have like a, not a fabric tape, but a gentle tape in your home, I wouldn't use like Scotch tape. You can use that. I've actually purchased these disposable mouth tapes, they call them. They look like this. And what I do with this is right before I'm about to go to bed, I tape. I can't see if it's straight, but I tape my mouth like that. And I sleep with that tape in place for the duration of my night, my sleep. And what that does is it gently encourages my body to breathe through my nose. So lots of people are like, oh, like what would happen if you had to breathe through your mouth? Like I can. So when this is in place, like if I needed to, I can rip it off really quick, or obviously even with enough force of me opening my mouth, it will, create enough space for me to breathe through my mouth. So it's not inhibiting mouth breathing 100%, but it's gently encouraging my body to breathe in the physiological way that it's meant to, through my nose predominantly. So when I mouth tape, I wake up so much better rested than when I forget to. And I look at my entire teens growing up, like my life basically until the last couple of years where I've implemented this. And I had so many issues with waking up in the morning and with being extremely fatigued throughout my day. So looking back, I can tell that my sleep quality, the caliber of my sleep, was likely not great, just not great in general. There's a whole kind of area of conversation where this can go into if the people around you are snoring, or you're somebody who snores, it's definitely like a good thing to be assessed by your doctor and or like a sleep specialist or anyone in that area to look at why the snoring is occurring. But in part, it could be mouth breathing related. So for some people, this hack inhibits the snoring function, which then leads to higher quality sleep for them. So it's super simple, it's super cheap, and just such an easy way to improve your sleep. I heard somebody describe it as insurance, because maybe you're one of the like few percent of people who naturally breathes through your nose anyways all night. And I will say this too, even if you identify as a nose breather throughout the day, there is a good chance that you still do mouth breathe at night. So just keep that in mind. If you're like, oh, I'm in the clear, I'm mainly a nose breather through the day, there's a good chance you do mouth breathe at night, just from what I've read and heard. And so it's like insurance. So if you were to tape your mouth, there's a chance that you nose breathe anyways, and it's sort of like not necessary. But there's, I feel, an even bigger chance that you do mouth breathe, and that you will over time notice an impact in your sleep quality, how rested you feel when you wake up, if you do some mouth taping to promote nasal breathing. Okay? I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about that. I know it's like such a, if you've heard about it before, it's not that big of a like, okay, change. But I remember the first time I heard about it, I was like, that's so weird. People do that. And now I'm that person. I do it every single night. Matt is so used to it. Like, he doesn't even comment. Like, it's just like, I'm very obviously going to sleep if I have my tape on. So yeah, that was my one of my favorite hacks that I wanted to share tonight. I wanted to talk about a few other pieces that I think are really important. We have small kids, and so sound machines are really, really helpful for us as a family. My 3-month-old is still in our room with us, so we sleep with our sound machine on every night. Not only does it help the babies, but it insulates our room from sounds outside, so it actually helps us have better sleep because our dogs don't get activated, which I think is like honestly a pretty big deal too. So something to consider is even having just a like low level sound machine, like white noise playing in the corner of your room, just to help for like the bumps and the sounds that might occur in the night, just to give you a little bit of insulation from that noise. The other thing is, again, because I have small babies right now, I'm not wearing earplugs to sleep because I need to hear them. But generally speaking, I am an earplug gal. Like, I really, my body, it's like a cue. When I put earplugs in, then my body is like, okay, we're going to sleep. So if you're used to wearing earplugs, this won't be like revolutionary to you. But if you are somebody who, wakes easily, or you're noticing that you are waking a few times per night, it's something to look at. Again, it's a really cheap hack to wear earplugs to sleep. You could even try wearing them like not fully in if you're a little bit nervous, if you need to hear something, and or you could wear it on one ear. I don't know. It just depends on your comfort level in terms of not being able to hear anything. But I've never had any issues, and I've slept with them for like most of my adult life. What else? Oh, I wanted to talk next about blue blocking glasses. So you guys probably know a little bit about blue blocking glasses and blue light in particular. So what you might not know, or you might know, I don't know, is that the sun emits a degree of blue light during the day. So our ancestors were exposed to blue light throughout their days outside. Let's call them, like, they go outside to work and they're out in the daytime, and then when the sun is going down, the blue light is obviously tapering away, and that was a good cue for them to go back inside and rest for the next day. And so blue light is important. It actually creates some like good feelings in the body, like we're up and awake. But too much blue light can be hard on our system because it affects your body's ability to create melatonin. So melatonin, of course, is the hormone that makes us sleepy, makes us ready for bed, makes us fall asleep. And if you are exposed to too much blue light, especially in the late evenings, like before bedtime, you might notice that your body is not feeling cued to fall asleep. So you might notice a little bit of insomnia, or like a second wind in the evenings when you're looking at your cell phone or you're watching Netflix or you're on your laptop working on something. And that could be due to the blue light exposure that you're experiencing. So blue blocking glasses have been around for a while now. The ones I'm wearing right now are prescription, like I have prescription glasses, and then I just had them add the blue light filter. Some blue light still does get through blue blocking glasses, but and the research is still kind of out on them. However, there's a likelihood that it does block some, which can be impactful for your sleep. So definitely not a bad idea to put your blue blocking glasses on for like after supper when you're working on, if you're working in the evenings or you're using your cell phone or you're watching TV, just to allow your body to have a slight barrier from the blue light. So that's something else I wanted to talk about. The other thing, and this is like, if you know me, you know this is like my bread and butter and something that I'm super, super passionate about. I want to talk about aromatherapy and how that can impact your body and your sleep as a whole. So in particular, there are some oils that our family uses. If you come to my house at like, I don't know, 6:37, and you go upstairs, you'll see all our diffusers running, because I set our diffusers up, like running with the oils in them, so that when we get up there, our bodies are already starting to wind down. So the oils that we like to use, there's a few of them that I want to highlight tonight. The one thing I do want to say as a bit of a caveat is that our bodies we all have unique chemistry, and so essential oils are from plants, and they all have their own unique chemistry. So likely, if lavender works for me, it will work for you, but there are the odd few people out there where lavender maybe isn't as calming of an oil for them as it would be for other people. So when I'm talking to people about sleep and I'm suggesting things for them to try in their diffuser, firstly, I recommend you try it for a few days, like 3 to 5 days usually. Consistency is helpful to sort of be able to track whether or not an oil is helping you with sleep. And the other thing is to try a few different options. If you're noticing that something isn't working for you, it might not just work with your particular body's chemistry, but the good news is there's like hundreds of oils, and so many of them are amazing for sleep. So you likely will find something if you are consistently looking for an option that works for your body. So the few that I want to highlight, we were talking about melatonin a second ago. Cedarwood is an amazing oil, super calming, super relaxing. It's obviously from a tree, and it actually stimulates the pineal gland to produce melatonin. So that's the sleepy hormone that I was just talking about. So if you can get some cedarwood in your diffuser, or you can put it on topically, whatever your preference is, you are going to be supporting your body in the sleep process. It has some sedative qualities, and it's really great for sleep. Another oil that I already mentioned, lavender. So lavender has soothing and calming properties, some sedative properties as well. Let me know in the comments if you've used lavender for sleep. Let me know, did it work? How did you like it? My story that I'll never stop telling is that when I had my best friend use some of this lavender, this would be like 4.5 years ago, she was having really, really poor sleep, like tons of issues, and she used it, and that night, she said, was the first time she had slept through the night in like months and months and months. So she is a lavender lover, and most people who, like, again, when you find that particular oil that works for your system, you will know because you will feel a difference. I know if Maddie's watching, she was saying she has a special sleep combination of oils, and I would love if you put that in the comments, Maddie. Because yeah, everyone has their own special particular oils that work best for their system. So where am I? So lavender, cedarwood. Another like sleep elixir that I love to share, especially if you have kids, is peace and calming. So we're actually out right now, but usually I keep it in my toddler's bedroom because it is powerful for sleep. So many people swear by that oil for its calming and sleep supporting, like the oils that are in there. It's a blend. The oils are just famous for promoting sleep and really particularly in kids, though I know adults use it with the same good success as well. It smells amazing. It's like really light and kind of citrusy and just like such a beautiful blend. The other oil I wanted to highlight tonight is Valor. If you haven't tried Valor before, get yourself some Valor because it is good for so many things, but in particular, many say it helps with snoring because the black spruce in Valor is antispasmodic, and what that does is it increases blood flow. So when you or your partner is snoring, what happens is your soft palate is relaxing, and that is constricting the area. So that's what makes the sound of like when you're snoring. So the antispasmodic with the increased blood flow is said to help with keeping the palate more firm and inhibiting snoring. So I've had people, again, like with lavender, they try some Valor. There's kind of a funny way to apply it. They say to put it on your big toe, but you could diffuse it, put it on your chest. It's kind of whatever you prefer. But if you put it on your big toe or the big toe of your partner, and then let us know in the morning if they snored that night. It can be really, really amazing how quickly that oil works. Like one night and you'll notice the difference. And then, so speaking of black spruce, which is the oil that I was just highlighting in Valor, there's a whole bunch of other great oils in Valor too, like blue tansy. Like the oils in there are just extremely powerful and so amazing for so many things. But black spruce, which I'm holding right here, this is a Canadian oil, is also really good for calming. It's a tree oil, obviously, and so many people swear by this one in particular for their sleep. Usually blended with something else, but I have it diffusing solo right now, and it's actually so nice to enjoy it without any other oils in there too. So really great option for sleep and for relaxation. Great to put this one on while you're like winding down. Maybe you're like finishing up the dishes or watching a little Netflix, allowing your body to sort of ease into sleep with an oil, a gentle oil like this would be really, really lovely. So I know that so many of you guys already use essential oils. Obviously, there's a lot of you on here. I'm just sort of trying to watch the comments, but also trying to stay focused on task here. And so if you use essential oils, that's amazing. I am so pumped for you. I know for myself, they are like just such an integral part of my life, but in particular, my sleep. Diffusing essential oils is a really great way to keep the humidity in your room a little higher. Going into the winter months, dry spaces are not great. There's some research, I can post this after. There's some research that shows that different bugs live in the air longer when it's dry versus when it's humid. So it's really great to keep the spaces that you are sleeping in particular, and then and living in, like your main floor, whatever, really nice and humid, and a great way to do that is with a diffuser. So we have put together a couple of bundles. If you are interested in using some essential oils, and some of the ones that I've talked about have been have sounded like something that you would like, there's 2 bundles. Our first one is called Snoring the Gone. So that is your black spruce, lavender, cedarwood, valor, peace and calming, and a diffuser. And so that's one option. The other one, I was thinking for people who are maybe on the fence, they want to try some oils, but they're really just not sure. And that bundle is called Sleep Well. It's lavender, cedarwood, and a diffuser. And so the reason I bundled those together for this class tonight is because we want to support you in getting the things that you need to support your sleep easily. So if somebody invited you to this class, which I know somebody did, do reach out to them and let them know if you want one of the bundles. When you grab a bundle from this particular event, I'm going to send you a pair of these awesome silicone earplugs that I was talking about. They're pretty cool. You can kind of just mash them in your hand and create the shape that you want and then put them in your ear. And I'm also going to send you a 7-day supply of mouth tape. So you can try mouth taping to promote nasal breathing and see if that impacts your sleep as well. So that's for either of the bundles. If one of them sounds good to you, that's usually an indication that your body is craving a little bit of support. So lean into that, reach out to the person who invited you to this class, and you can chat with them about grabbing the bundle. What else? I'm just catching up on some comments. I love using black spruce when I'm doing yoga. Yes. Snores. Lavender on her feet. Yeah, I love the stories, you guys. I find this so like universal. Everyone has some sort of a success story when they start using essential oils, and I really hope that these other hacks that I've shared tonight are going to be the same thing. Like if one of you comes to me in the next week and says, I've started mouth taping and now I'm actually waking up feeling rested, I'm going to be so pumped, because it is so hard to go through life feeling tired all the time. And I say it because I've experienced it. And though we're not getting the best sleeps of our life at present, like there are some interruptions in my sleep at night, these other pieces that I've implemented, the mouth taping, the essential oils, keeping my room dark and cool, and having our diffusers running a little bit before we go upstairs for bed. All of those things are still bridging the gap between, really crappy sleep and high quality sleep for us. So I still wake up feeling pretty decently rested, even though there's some little ones who need us throughout the night. So that is my hope for you, is that you experience really good rejuvenating sleep, because from that place you are then able to move your body and show up for work and your family and all of the things in the way that you want. You have been so good, but also you want to eat. I know this. So I'm going to wrap up class here, you guys. The one thing I did want to mention is in 2 weeks, I am teaching a class called 5-Minute Facial. Another passion of mine and a big part of my sleep hygiene, or sort of my sleep rhythm, a way that I prepare my body for bedtime, is part of my skincare. So I wash my face with an oil, so I oil cleanse, and then I use an amazing glow serum that I make myself, and I use facial massage and gua sha to get those oils into my skin and to promote drainage, like lymphatic drainage and all of the things. It's so relaxing and calming. I'm turning 30 in a couple weeks, and so I'm just really focusing a lot more on skincare and taking care of myself in different ways. So all that to say, the class is in 2 weeks. I'll post it below. I would love if you guys would join. Feel free to invite a friend. You don't need a gua sha stone. You don't need the oil. I'll just be showing you how to do a really quick facial for yourself that you can do every single day. And yeah, thank you for bearing with me with my little one, and I hope you guys have a restful and rejuvenating sleep tonight. Thank you for being here with me. See you later.